1 year ago, I told myself I'm gonna start posting on YouTube and I'm gonna be freaking
the biggest YouTube channel ever.
Obviously, that didn't exactly happen, but here's what happened after posting on YouTube for more than 1 year straight. All right, so first I'm gonna get into the why did I want to even start a YouTube channel? Oh shoot, I really be weighing that much? I shifted the whole couch back. So I've always wanted to be a content creator. I've always wanted to share my stories. I posted my first video like 10 plus years ago. And I think just ever since I picked up a camera, I've just fell in love with the ability to craft a story, to be able to essentially put you as the viewer and anybody who's viewing it into kind of this experience. Ooh, iced Americano, you know how we do, 2 ice cubes. Another aspect that really intrigued me about creating content was the motivational and personal growth, productivity, all that sort of stuff was the content that I really like consuming, because there were quite a bit of challenges that I faced, and the type of content that got me through those moments was those sort of things. And now that I'm at a point in my life where I feel like I've conquered some of those difficult challenges in the past, I want to share just from my experience, like, okay, how did I actually do it? This really is the best coffee ever. Shout out to my wife who got this coffee from me when she was in Chicago. So that's the why. I mean, I also just loved creating. And so I really appreciate just the creative aspect. I like putting stories together. I like it so much that that's even my job. I'm in the communications field and that's my job. I get to tell cool stories all day, which is really cool. So it's another way to kind of work on my craft. But yeah, the reason I started was just because I had that love, I had that passion for creating, telling stories. That's why I started. So let's talk about why did I start but then stop, and why was there no consistency? Well, for that, you're gonna have to follow me. All right, so we're outside now. It's a little bit backlit, I know, but I'm gonna make this quick. Also, shout out to the awesome pumpkins I got. Check that out. So I want to talk about real quick, kind of why, why was I lacking? Why was I struggling with the consistency? There was a period in my life where I started creating content, and I was actually being very consistent, but I switched to kind of some of the short form platforms. And long story short, I started creating content, and I kind of got influenced by the numbers and feeling like that if I wasn't reaching the certain metrics on other platforms, that I wasn't making good content. And it was just like taking a toll. I was letting it affect me. And so there was just a bigger period of time too where I wasn't creating anything at all. And then on top of that, I was in a point in my life where I was trying to figure out what my career was going to be, like what am I going to do to get that bread. And so there was just a lot of things happening mentally, I think, that made it a little bit difficult. But as I started to find stability, especially in the career side of things, I was able to kind of figure out how to be mentally prepared to move forward in creating content and be consistent. Try not to focus so much on the numbers. I mean, the numbers to this day, the numbers, obviously I can't ignore the numbers, but instead of letting it, instead of letting the numbers tell me, hey, this video is not doing good, it's an opportunity to be like, hey, this video performed at this level. What can I do to just make it a little better? And also, I think too, I realize is that like there's no good video or bad video, right? There are like crappy videos that do very well. There are videos that don't do well, that you put a lot of effort in. And so obviously there are the good factors to consider to make a good video. But when you've got the base solid and you're making good content but you're not seeing the results, I think it's just a matter of reps. And so in the past year, I've seen that. So let's talk a little bit about what has transpired from posting consistently on the channel for the past year. Let's go. All right, so let's get to the good stuff. Let's talk about the year. Let's talk about the progress. What did I do and how did I do it all? All right, so first off, when I started posting consistently again on YouTube, I had about this amount of subscribers, and then here's where I'm at right now, which is pretty good progress for me, because prior to that, it took me years and years to even get to the starting point. So that was about subscribers. Now let's talk about the good stuff, the moolah, the monetization, the golden 4,000 hours. So when I started like creating content consistently again after my couple year long hiatus, I had about, I think, like maybe 1 hour watch time for the entire year. That meant that I needed to post more content so that I can up those numbers to reach the 4,000 hour threshold. So for those who don't know, YouTube only will only begin to start paying you through monetization once you've reached 4,000 hours. So it's essentially YouTube saying, hey, you're going to be consistent, because if you're not, we're not going to pay you this money. And so I was able to reach that in about, I think about three months. So last October, I posted a video that said like, just start creating. And it actually had done pretty decent like that. It was like, it reached 1,000 views in the first, I think like week or 2 weeks, which is pretty big for me because, you know, my channel at the time, I think was around 2,000-ish subscribers. So this was really good to see. And then it just kind of tapered off. I didn't really think anything much of it. I kept posting consistently about other topics and whatnot. And then all of a sudden it gets to around Christmas time, which by the way is my favorite time of the year. So anyways, it's around Christmas time and I'm still posting consistently, and I'm starting to check my stats, and I'm watching this video that I created back in October actually start climbing again. It reached 2K, now it's 3K, now it's 8K, now it's 20K. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And then it's like 50K. I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And so, I was still posting consistently, and I was still upping my hours to reach that 4,000 hour threshold, but I had not reached it yet. But this one video eventually reached, I believe, 100K, and it had pushed me over to get that 4,000 hour watch time. And so I was able to start monetizing right away. Like once I reached it, I was like, boom, monetize right away. That sent a good amount of traffic to my other videos, which also gained good traction. And then I was able to generate ad revenue from those videos as well. And I'm not doing this for the money, but it's always really cool to see when the YouTube algorithm blesses you and the people watch your content and they find it valuable. And so it's always a good like validation that like, hey, this thing where I'm talking to the camera, there's nobody here. Yes, it pays off a little bit. All right, so from last year to now, this is how much YouTube says it made in ad revenue, which is just, if you divide that by 12, obviously it's not like a crazy amount of money, but that is like, I don't know, a couple coffees a month maybe. All right, so that was talking about monetization and kind of like the progress I made there. Now I want to talk about kind of the indirect perks that I received ever since starting to post consistently on YouTube. All right. So what were some of the, indirect benefits of staying consistent on YouTube? All right, so first I'm going to talk about the YouTube Partner Program. And for those who don't know, it's essentially YouTube's, partner program. Essentially what it is when you start posting consistently on YouTube and you've hit monetization, you're in good standing with YouTube. YouTube will invite you to be a part of their creator program. What's cool about that is they have events where you can meet up with other YouTube creators, where YouTube hosts it themselves. So like last year, I went to a YouTube meetup at this restaurant where I met some other creators. And then there was like another event where we got to see like a Minecraft movie screening, which was pretty awesome. And then throughout the year, they just give out like random perks of like discounts to things, or they'll send you free merch. And actually today, like one of the perks that we got recently was like just like a $10 gift card to Subway. And so literally my lunch was covered by YouTube. So those were some of the perks of that program. And then also like from that program, you got to connect with other creators. And so it's been cool to just be able to see the types of content other people are making around the city of Seattle. All right, so the next benefit that I want to touch on is it's improved my career. And what I mean by that is, like I mentioned earlier, I'm in the communications field. I'm telling stories pretty much every day. And so that also means I'm using a camera pretty consistently. And so being able to have another reason to use my camera outside of work has given me a reason to still stay creative, to still stay on top of it, to learn new techniques and skills and tricks with my camera, how to color grade better, how to film better, how to be a better speaker, and all these sort of things has really just, I think, like it's translated more than just to my YouTube videos. It's also translated to the content that I'm creating. It's also translated to the work that I'm doing for my career. So during my hiatus of when I was not really posting much, you know, I was also doing similar work where I had a camera, I was telling stories. I just felt drained. Like I was like not really wanting to create anything on my personal time, because when you spend so much time with a camera, editing and all this stuff, like probably the last thing you want to do is do it at home as well, right? And so that's kind of the feeling I got. But the unfortunate side effect of that was like, because at work you have different restrictions of how you can, like, you know, tell your story. Obviously you can't do the same things that you can on your personal. You're kind of like, for a period of time, you're kind of just told how to think about how to do something. And so it kind of limits your thinking, limits the creativity. During my hiatus, I think I was lacking creativity because I was just doing what people were telling me. And so now that I'm in this period of my life where I'm creating at work, but I'm also creating personal, I think it's opened up doors of like just staying creative. Because like I said, like when you're at your job, you got things to think about, you got all these like factors and restrictions, and there's just a lot to think about, right? It's not as simple as turn the camera on and go. I think it's good to have a balance. All right, one last thing I want to talk about is posting on YouTube consistently for the past year has taught me the power of consistency, and it's also taught me the power of not quickly reacting with emotions. And what I mean by that is like I said again, when I started posting, I had like a couple, you know, like 5-6 videos where it was doing all right. The algorithm was still trying to figure out who to send my content to, and so it was taking some time. I just learned that good things take time. It's just really taught me kind of the power of believing in yourself, believing the path that you've set, and try not to be distracted by all these things. You know, doing this has translated to more than just content. It's like influenced a lot of the decisions I make now as well. Like even in like investing, my personal finance stuff, you know, trying not to react emotionally. You know, recently, it's October 12th, so recently the stock market's like going crazy. I'm trying not to, you know, respond with big emotion, because you know, that is when people tend to make decisions that they may or may not regret. And so, you know, stuff like that. We got stuff with my career. I have a fond appreciation now of like slow growth and taking things kind of one at a time. Earlier in my content journey, I was like, I want to be at this point by this time, blah, 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 blah. And you know how life is. It's like, all right, that's your plan? Cool. We're going to go this way. All right, so I think I'm going to end it there. There's been so many things I've learned about this creator journey. I think the number one thing is to have fun. And so I just kind of try to remind myself, like, it's not that serious. Nothing is ever that serious. So I just want to say thank you so much for being a part of the journey. Listen, we've got plenty more years to go. Hopefully we'll still be doing this thing. And so thank you for sticking around. 1 year down, many more to go. We're going to make it happen. I'm going to try to get this video out today. It's Sunday, so let's see if I can make it happen. All right, thanks for watching. Peace. Click here to watch this video. Click here to watch that video. Click here to subscribe. And I think that's it. All right, peace.